What's going on, YouTubers and subscribers all over the world? You already know it's your boy Testify to the Music, aka Mikey Savage 21, bringing you another Testify Talks. And today, Testify Talks is gonna be a little debatey because we are about to tackle one of the most biggest, most controversial, hot button topic that's going on YouTube right now, which is a war that has been going on for centuries now, but is even more prevalent today than it has been recently. And I'm talking about the war of critics versus fans. Stick around as we jump right into this topic. Alright, so diving straight into the topic of critics versus fans. Now, most recently, this topic, has really become a really touchy subject for some people, especially when it comes to the DC films and the DC properties. If you guys don't know, lately all of DC's movies that they've been putting out and theatrically, whether it's Batman v Superman or Suicide Squad or even Man of Steel, a lot of them have gotten rotten scores from a lot of critics, and fans are upset. It's mostly the DC fanboys, the diehards, who are really upset, saying, well, we need to shut Rotten Tomatoes down, or critics, they have an agenda against the DC films, and Marvel and their stupid formula. That's the reason that critics hate DC films. Now, I know for me, and as being a critic / movie reviewer, I myself know I am a huge DC fan, and I'm a huge Marvel fan as well. I love both properties. But I could tell Man of Steel had its issues. Batman v Superman definitely had its issues. And even Suicide Squad had its issues. But then again, so do some of the Marvel films. They have issues as well. It's not like they get perfect scores. But see, when it comes to the Marvel films, the positives usually outweigh the negatives. As with the DC films, there's a few positives, and then there's a lot of negatives when it comes to their films. Again, this topic of critics versus fans, a lot of people look to Rotten Tomato as a way of saying, oh, great, if this is rotten, then that means it's no good, and that we should shut Rotten Tomatoes down, that Rotten Tomatoes has an agenda. And for those of you who are listening to this and you're my subscribers, I haven't talked about this, but I am in the know, mostly because of John Campia and everyone from Collider Movie Talk. They've talked about this last week. Rotten Tomatoes does not necessarily give scores. They don't review or critique anything. What they do is they have about a group of 200, maybe a little more, critics that they look to. And when critics give their scores, they use that as an aggregator system to give it a grade level. And so let's say you have a bunch of critics give it a rotten score, but then you have the same amount of critics give it a great score. Well, then it's probably going to fall somewhere in that 50 percentile, maybe 60 percentile, right there in the middle, because it was split down the middle. And then fans can also post their thoughts on Rotten Tomatoes, but it's not counted in necessarily. This is just from a group of selected individuals who happen to be certified by Rotten Tomatoes. And so I get the whole notion of when people want to decide whether or not they want to go see a movie, if they trust, Rotten Tomatoes, and they go look on Rotten Tomatoes and they see that Suicide Squad has a 26% rating and it's certified rotten, well, they're going to be like, okay, look, I got a family of 4. I do not want to spend $100+ on a movie that looks like that's bad. And so, to me, that's one of the beauty things about Rotten Tomatoes is, again, it helps you. Like, let's say you're on the fence about going and seeing a movie, but you don't necessarily have a movie critic that you listen to or that you're plugged into, and you want to decide, okay, do I want to spend my hard-earned money on this film, or do I want to spend it on another film? So, you're most likely, what you're going to do is you're going to be like, okay, let me go to Rotten Tomatoes, check. Okay, what's this percentage? Oh, okay, it's certified rotten. Okay, well, you know what? I'm not going to go see this one. I'm going to save my money and go see something else. Now, at the flip side of that, if you really want to see a movie, then pay critics no attention. Pay movie reviewers no attention. Pay Rotten Tomatoes, Metacritic, any of those places. Pay those no attention. Go see the movie. And this is just one of the hot issue topics right now that's going on YouTube, because you had fans all around the world who are attacking the critics saying, why did you give Suicide Squad such a low rating? Because if I remember correctly, I think it's sitting at a 26. It might be a little lower, but I know it's certified rotten right now thanks to the critics. But I have a group of critics and reviewers that I personally listen to as well. And usually I don't do this, but I say, you know what? I just want to see what their thoughts on this, because I know I went in with open eyes, to see Batman v Superman without any form of critics or whatever, and I wound up highly upset because my expectations were so high, and then when the movie didn't meet them, I ended up hating the movie. So I wanted to go in with tailored expectations for Suicide Squad, so I went ahead and watched the non-spoilers review, and what I found out is there were problems with the film, but they still all came to a unanimous agreement. Go see the movie. So I said, you know what? All right, I'm going to pay the $12. I'm going to go see it early showing on Thursday. Post my thoughts up Thursday night, Thursday morning around that time. And sure enough, that's exactly what I did. And I enjoyed it. I absolutely enjoyed it. If you guys saw my review, I gave the movie a 4.5 out of 5. Now, again, take that with a grain of salt. If you trust my review system and you look to me for reviews and everything, I thank you and I appreciate that. But at the same time, for those of you who think, why did you give it such a high score? Why didn't you just give it a perfect score? Again, those were my thoughts and my opinions. And that's what this topic really just gets to the meat of it. It's your opinion. It's one person's opinion versus another opinion. It shouldn't matter about other people's opinions. You yourself have your own opinions. We live in the great country of USA where you're allowed to disagree with people and you're allowed to have your own thoughts and opinions. That's covered right there in the First Amendment. We have the right to that. So when it comes to critics versus fans, to me, it's kind of a stupid topic. Like, why are we even talking about the topic? At the end of the day, the critic had his own opinion, and his opinion should not affect your opinion. Now, again, I'm a realist. I know how it is when you have a reviewer that you really like, that you really go to, and that they pour in to you. And whenever you want to go see a movie, you go check out their YouTube channel first. I hope for a lot of you that's me before you go check out a film. But hey, if you don't, it's okay. But they have a YouTuber, movie reviewer, whoever, critic that they go to. And what they do is they gauge their opinions and thoughts on what theirs are, because their opinions usually line up with theirs. And that'll determine whether or not they go see the movie. There and again, the critics that I like to pour into, I like Smoes No. Christian did not like the movie. Christian gave the movie a 2 out of 5. And Mark, I think, maybe gave it, I think he might have gotten to a 3. I'm not quite sure. I haven't watched the review in a few days. But they gave it kind of a low score. Now, of course, I was like, wow, should I go see this movie? And I was like, you know what? I want to get my own opinion. Not only do I want to get my own opinion so I can post my own thoughts on my YouTube channel, but I also want to get my own opinion because there were a lot of people who said, oh, this movie is going to be crap. You don't need to go see it. I'll watch it. I loved it. Like I said, I loved Suicide Squad. I did see a lot of problems with the film, mainly dealing with the Joker being cut out a lot of the movie, but that's another video for another day. But I wanted to get my own thoughts and my own opinions on it. But yes, I do like to gauge other movie reviews and see what they thought of it. And so again, that's my advice to you. To all of you out there who are DC fanboys or Marvel fanboys or movie fanboys in general, and you love a specific movie property and your opinions don't necessarily line up with the critic, go see it anyway, because at the end of the day, your opinion is what matters. Like I always say in my videos, I'm just a guy talking behind the microphone. You can take what I say for a grain of salt. At the end of the day, your opinion is going to matter, not my opinion. My opinions matter to me, and I like to hear y'all's opinions in the comment section as well. But at the end of the day, they're your thoughts and your opinions. So when it gets to this subject of critics versus fans, when you hear someone talk about it, just tell them, what's the big deal? I have my opinion. They have their opinion. Sometimes it's not going to line up always. I mean, look at Deadpool. That's a rare occasion where critics and fans both love the movie. You have other movies like The Jungle Book. That was highly praised, and it was highly praised by fans as well. So there are films in that realm of both the comic book and just in general movies where fans like it and critics like it, and they line up and their opinions line up. But that's not always going to be the case. So again, I can't stress this enough. If you like a movie, if you watch the trailer and you've seen TV spots and you've heard about it and you're excited to go see the movie, no matter even if you have a movie reviewer that your thoughts and opinions line up with, and you still are curious about seeing it for yourself, go see it. And look, this could also help. If you live in a place where they do a matinee showing where it's cheaper prices, go to the matinee showing. That way, you're not spending as much money as you would be. So even if you end up not liking the film, you haven't spent that much money. I think for me, one of the reasons I was so upset with Batman v Superman is I went and saw it on opening night as opposed to an early showing and paid full nighttime price, which was somewhere between $12 and $15. And I'm working on a budget here. I don't make much. So when that movie really let me down and it hurt me in a very personal way, I was very upset because I had spent a good chunk of my money that I could have used for another movie, which I would have loved. But again, I took the risk because I heard what critics said about it, but I wanted to get my own opinion. So again, it's like one of those catch-20 things where sometimes it's good to listen to the critics because you end up saving yourself some money. Sometimes it's not good to listen to the critics because you might be missing out on a movie that you really enjoy. When it comes to that type of situation, you just have to use your best judgment. But again, I cannot stress this enough. Your opinion matters more than what anybody else says. So if you think a movie is great, but somebody else doesn't think it's great, that's fine. They have the right to disagree with you. There's no need to start a war or try to make people lose their jobs or try to shut down websites just because their thoughts and opinions don't line up with yours. Because if we all lived in a world where all of our thoughts and opinions always lined up, that would be kind of boring, and it'd be like living in Squaresville, like in SpongeBob, on the episode where he just was normal. It was boring and dull and lifeless. That's exactly how it would be if our thoughts and opinions always lined up. But that's going to do it for me here today, guys. Again, I just wanted to touch on the subject of critics versus fans. Again, this is a debate that's been going on for years and years, but it's really come to fruition this year, especially dealing with the DC properties. And again, your opinions, your thoughts, they matter, but other people's opinions and thoughts matter as well. But I want to know, what do you think about this debate that's been going on for a while now? Let me know in the comment section below what you think about this topic. I'm curious to know, and I really want to get your thoughts and your opinions in the comment section below on this topic. Also, if you're watching this video and you liked it, you got some form of entertainment out of it, then please hit that thumbs up button. It helps out the channel immensely. Also, make sure you follow me on the social media platforms of Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and SoundCloud at I Am Testify. I will also have a link in the description to the mini playlist I have here, whether it's the Testify Talks playlist, the movie reviews playlist, the top 5 playlist, or the Testify Reviews playlist. I have all of those down in the description below. Again, let me know what you thought of this topic in this video. Thank you so much for watching this video. And as I always say, this is your boy, Testify to the Music, aka Mikey Savage 21, saying, peace out.